The post-war era of the 1950s brought a surge of automotive innovation and growth, with manufacturers vying to cater to a wide range of buyers. For budget-conscious consumers, a host of low-cost cars promised affordability and practicality. However, not all of these models delivered on their promises. Many were plagued by underpowered engines, lackluster design, and poor build quality that overshadowed their low price tags. Here are 9 budget cars from 1950 that failed to justify the savings and have since faded into obscurity.
Dear viewer, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for your support.
Number 9, 1955 Ford Mainline. This car, positioned as Ford's entry-level offering, was a stark contrast to the company's more prestigious models. While it provided affordable transportation, the Mainline's design and engineering choices left much to be desired. Let's explore why the 1955 Ford Mainline became a symbol of minimalism, both in its visual appeal and mechanical prowess. In 1955, America was enjoying post-war prosperity, and automakers were producing vehicles that reflected growing consumer demands for style, performance, and comfort. Chrome-laden exteriors, powerful V8 engines, and luxurious interiors were becoming the norm, even in the lower-priced market. Ford, however, needed an affordable model to cater to frugal buyers, resulting in the stripped-down Mainline. This car was designed to appeal to fleet buyers and budget-conscious families. While practical and cost-effective, the Mainline's shortcomings highlighted the challenges of balancing affordability with desirability. The 1955 Ford Mainline was intentionally stripped of visual flair. Unlike its siblings, the Fairlane and Custom line, the Mainline featured minimal chrome accents. The grille, body sides, and rear end were devoid of the embellishments that defined mid-century automotive style. The lack of chrome trim made the car appear utilitarian rather than stylish. In an era where chrome symbolized modernity and affluence, the Mainline looked dated and uninspiring. The body panels were plain, with little sculpting or curvature to break up the monotony of its design. Ford offered the Mainline with a standard inline-6 engine, while the powerful V8 available in higher trims was notably absent. The inline-6 engine produced just 120 horsepower, which was underwhelming even by the standards of the time. This left the Mainline feeling sluggish, particularly when loaded with passengers or cargo. The absence of a V8 option alienated buyers who wanted both affordability and adequate performance. Competitors like Chevrolet offered V8s even in their budget models, giving them a clear advantage. The Mainline's interior was another area where cost-cutting was evident. Ford used basic materials that wore out quickly under regular use. The dashboard was devoid of decorative elements, with a utilitarian layout that lacked the charm of higher trims. Budget materials on the seats and door panels often deteriorated quickly, leading to sagging upholstery and frayed edges within a few years of ownership. The seats were basic and lacked the cushioning needed for long-distance comfort, further emphasizing the car's budget status. The Mainline found some success among fleet buyers, such as taxi companies and government agencies, who valued its low initial cost and simplicity. However, for individual buyers, it lacked the visual appeal and performance they could find in similarly priced models from competitors. Chevrolet, for instance, offered more stylish and better-equipped options within the same price range. Buyers who could stretch their budgets even slightly often opted for Ford's own Custom line or Fairlane trims, leaving the Mainline overlooked by mainstream consumers. While affordability is critical in the entry-level market, stripping a car of both visual interest and mechanical capability limits its desirability. By the mid-1950s, buyers expected more from even budget cars. The Mainline's minimalist approach felt outdated in a time when consumers were gravitating towards stylish and well-equipped vehicles. Offering the V8 as an option could have broadened the Mainline's appeal and helped it compete more effectively in its segment. The 1955 Ford Mainline serves as a reminder of the risks of excessive cost-cutting in automotive design. While it provided reliable transportation at an affordable price, it failed to capture the excitement and optimism that characterized mid-1950s cars. Its plain styling, lack of performance, and underwhelming interior made it a car that served its purpose but inspired little enthusiasm. For Ford, the Mainline represented a missed opportunity to create a truly competitive budget car. For us, it's a case study in how not to design for the entry-level market. Number 8, 1955 Studebaker Champion Custom, a car that exemplifies the challenges of blending affordability with desirability. Positioned as Studebaker's entry-level trim, the Champion Custom was meant to deliver reliable transportation at a low price. Unfortunately, its Spartan nature, underwhelming performance, and the company's financial instability overshadowed its potential. The mid-1950s marked an era of fierce competition in the American automotive market. Companies like Chevrolet, Ford, and Plymouth were rolling out stylish, powerful, and well-equipped cars that appealed to a growing, prosperous middle class. Against this backdrop, independent automakers like Studebaker faced significant challenges. Studebaker, known for its innovative designs in previous years, was now grappling with financial struggles and an aging lineup. The Champion, which had once been a solid performer, found itself increasingly outclassed by rivals. The 1955 Champion Custom, as the base trim of the lineup, epitomized these challenges. The Champion Custom was intentionally minimalistic to keep costs low. However, this approach often alienated buyers looking for a blend of affordability and style. While Studebaker's Raymond Loewy-inspired designs had been groundbreaking earlier in the decade, by 1955, they looked dated. The Champion Custom lacked the chrome embellishments and intricate detailing that competitors were offering, leaving it visually underwhelming. The interior was bare bones, with basic materials and few amenities. It lacked the comfort and polish buyers were beginning to expect, even in entry-level cars. The Champion Custom came equipped with a small inline 6 engine producing modest horsepower. While this engine was sufficient for city driving, it struggled on highways and with heavier loads. The underpowered engine made the car feel sluggish, especially when compared to the V8 offerings from Ford, Chevrolet, and Plymouth. Studebaker's inability to offer a competitive engine option for its entry-level model further hampered its appeal. While affordability was the Champion Custom's key selling point, it came at the expense of features and design appeal. Buyers often viewed it as too stripped down, especially when compared to competitors that offered more flair and functionality for a similar price. Chevrolet's 150 and Ford's Mainline, for instance, were more polished despite being entry-level models. They offered better performance and more modern styling. By 1955, Studebaker's financial woes were becoming apparent. This created a perception of uncertainty among buyers who hesitated to invest in a car from a manufacturer with an unclear future. Even buyers who might have been drawn to the Champion's affordability often opted for more established brands to ensure parts availability and long-term service support. While cost-cutting is necessary for entry-level models, it should not come at the expense of essential features or visual appeal. A car must feel like a worthwhile investment, even at the lower end of the market. In the 1950s, American consumers were embracing highways and long-distance travel. Cars that couldn't keep up with this trend risked becoming obsolete. The Champion's underpowered engine was a major drawback. Studebaker's financial instability played a significant role in undermining consumer confidence. Buyers were unwilling to gamble on a company perceived as being on the brink of collapse. The 1955 Studebaker Champion Custom serves as a cautionary tale about the risks of excessive minimalism in car design. While it was affordable and functional, its Spartan design, underwhelming performance, and association with a struggling company severely limited its appeal. For Studebaker, the Champion Custom was a symbol of a broader challenge: how to remain competitive in an industry dominated by giants. For us, it is a reminder of the importance of balancing cost efficiency with desirability and ensuring that even entry-level products meet the evolving expectations of consumers. Number 7, 1955 Mercury Metalist, an attempt by Mercury to enter the budget segment of the market. Unfortunately, this car's uninspired design, subpar materials, and lackluster performance left it overshadowed not only by competitors, but by its own siblings within the Mercury lineup. In 1955, the American car market was booming, with manufacturers racing to offer cars that embodied a mix of style, performance, and comfort. Mercury, positioned as a step above Ford but below Lincoln, sought to capture a broader audience by introducing the Metalist, a budget-conscious option aimed at buyers seeking affordability. However, this move placed the Metalist in a precarious position. To compete in the lower price bracket, Mercury had to make sacrifices in quality and design, ultimately undermining the car's appeal. The Metalist design was far from the bold styling that Mercury was known for. Unlike other Mercury models in 1955 that showcased elegant chrome accents and stylish grilles, the Metalist came off as plain and uninspired. Its lack of distinctive features made it difficult to stand out in a competitive market. Compared to its stablemates, such as the Monterey and Montclair, the Metalist looked like a watered-down version, stripped of the flair that buyers expected from Mercury. To keep costs down, Mercury skimped on materials and interior quality for the Metalist. The cabin featured cheaper fabrics and plastics, which wore out quickly and lacked the comfort and sophistication seen in higher-tier Mercury models. Cost-cutting visible. Buyers often notice the cost-cutting measures, which diminish the brand's premium image. The Metalist came with Mercury's standard V8 engine, but even here compromises were evident. While the Metalist V8 provided reasonable performance, it was detuned compared to engines in pricier Mercury models, making it feel sluggish when compared to competitors from Chevrolet and Ford. The car's suspension and handling were also less polished, giving it a utilitarian rather than enjoyable driving experience. The Metalist's greatest challenge was its unclear place in the Mercury lineup. By cutting corners to compete on price, Mercury created a car that didn't live up to the expectations associated with the brand. Buyers who wanted affordability often opted for a Ford, while those seeking refinement chose a higher-tier Mercury. Competitors like Chevrolet and Plymouth offered more compelling designs and comparable performance, leaving the Metalist as an afterthought. The Metalist was a one-year-only model, which speaks volumes about its reception. Discontinued. Quickly, Mercury recognized the Metalist's inability to carve out a distinct niche and chose not to continue the experiment beyond 1955. A brand's identity is crucial, and the Metalist's cost-cutting measures diluted the prestige of Mercury. When buyers perceive a product as a compromise, it can harm the brand as a whole. While budget models need to be cost-effective, they should not be devoid of character. Cars in this segment still need to excite buyers with design, features, or performance, something the Metalist failed to deliver. A car must occupy a clear, defined space in the market. The Metalist's blurred identity left it stuck between Ford's affordability and Mercury's aspirations for luxury, making it unappealing to both groups. The 1955 Mercury Metalist was an attempt to attract budget-conscious buyers, but it lacked the design, quality, and performance to succeed in a competitive market. Instead of bolstering Mercury's reputation, it diluted the brand's identity and left buyers unimpressed. For Mercury, the Metalist was a learning moment, a realization that cost-cutting without creativity or innovation can lead to forgettable results. For us, it stands as a reminder that even budget cars must embody the spirit of their brand to resonate with buyers. Number 6, 1955 Pontiac Chieftain 860. Pontiac's attempt to offer an entry-level model in an era when flashy design and powerful engines dominated the American automotive market. While the Chieftain 860 served its purpose as a budget-friendly option, it failed to capture the imagination of buyers and was overshadowed by more compelling alternatives. The mid-1950s marked a time of transformation for Pontiac. Under the leadership of Seaman Bunky Knudsen, the brand was beginning its shift toward performance-oriented and stylish vehicles. However, this evolution had yet to take full effect in 1955. The Chieftain 860 was Pontiac's base model, aimed at buyers seeking a no-frills vehicle with Pontiac's reputation for dependability. Unfortunately, in the competitive landscape of 1955, this stripped-down offering lacked the flair and excitement buyers were beginning to expect from the brand. One of the most glaring issues with the Chieftain 860 was its subdued exterior design. In a time when chrome was synonymous with status and style, the Chieftain 860 had minimal chrome trim, making it appear far less glamorous than its siblings or rivals. The design was utilitarian, with no standout features to differentiate it from more exciting models in the Pontiac lineup or competing brands like Chevrolet and Oldsmobile. The interior of the Chieftain 860 reflected its budget-focused nature. The upholstery was basic, lacking the rich textures and colors found in higher trims, like the Star Chief. The dashboard design was uninspiring, with minimal ornamentation and a simplistic layout that felt out of place even in the entry-level market. A significant drawback of the Chieftain 860 was its limited powertrain options. Unlike the pricier Star Chief, which came equipped with Pontiac's V8 engine, the Chieftain 860 relied on a 6-cylinder engine. While adequate for basic transportation, it lacked the power and smoothness buyers desired in a mid-1950s car. In an era when V8 engines were rapidly gaining popularity, the absence of this option in the 860 put it at a disadvantage compared to competitors like the Chevrolet Bel Air, which offered a V8 option even in more affordable trims. Within General Motors' hierarchy, Pontiac sat between Chevrolet and Oldsmobile. Unfortunately, the Chieftain 860 failed to establish a compelling reason for buyers to choose it over these other brands. With similar pricing and more exciting options, including stylish models like the Bel Air, Chevrolet was a more enticing choice for budget-conscious buyers. For those willing to spend a bit more, Oldsmobile offered more luxurious and better-performing vehicles, making the Chieftain 860 feel stuck in a no-man's land. The Chieftain 860 lacked the boldness that buyers associated with the mid-1950s. With automakers embracing dramatic styling and powerful engines, this Pontiac model seemed out of touch with consumer desires. While the Chieftain 860 aimed to be affordable, it lacked any standout features to make it desirable. Even budget models need elements of style, performance, or innovation to attract buyers. Pontiac's emerging identity as a performance-focused brand was absent in the Chieftain 860. This inconsistency likely confused buyers and weakened the brand's overall image. The absence of a V8 engine in the Chieftain 860 was a significant misstep. By 1955, V8 engines were becoming a must-have, even in budget cars, and Pontiac's failure to recognize this hurt its appeal. The 1955 Pontiac Chieftain 860 serves as an example of how entry-level cars must still deliver a compelling package. With its plain styling, uninspired interior, and underpowered engine, the Chieftain 860 failed to make a strong impression in a market that was demanding boldness and performance. While Pontiac would eventually learn these lessons and become a leader in exciting, performance-oriented vehicles, the Chieftain 860 remains a reminder of the challenges faced when balancing affordability with brand identity. Number 5, 1955 DeSoto Firedome Base Model, a car that represented a turning point for DeSoto in both its strengths and its shortcomings. While DeSoto was a Chrysler Corporation brand known for stylish and well-equipped vehicles, the base model of the Firedome lineup fell short in several key areas. It failed to deliver the excitement and value expected of the brand, leaving it overshadowed by its Chrysler and Dodge counterparts. DeSoto, positioned between Dodge and Chrysler in the corporate hierarchy, aimed to offer a blend of affordability and luxury. The Firedome was introduced as the entry-level option in DeSoto's lineup, intended to attract budget-conscious buyers without compromising the brand's reputation for style. By 1955, the automotive industry was shifting toward bigger, flashier cars with more powerful engines. Unfortunately, the Firedome base model struggled to keep pace with these changing consumer demands. While DeSoto's higher trims boasted elegant design elements, the base Firedome felt like a stripped-down version that lacked the flair buyers expected. The base model featured minimal chrome trim, a significant departure from the more luxurious models in the lineup. While the DeSoto grille was distinctive, the base Firedome didn't emphasize it as much as higher trims, making it look less prestigious. In an era when car designs were defined by sweeping curves and bold details, the Firedome base model came across as uninspired, blending into the crowd rather than standing out. DeSoto's Firedome base model was powered by a version of the 291 cubic inch Hemi V8 engine, an impressive name on paper but less so in practice. While the engine was capable in other DeSoto models, it was detuned for the base model, leaving it underpowered compared to competitors. The lower horsepower and torque made acceleration sluggish, especially given the car's size and weight. The Hemi name carried expectations of performance, and detuning it for the budget model undermined its appeal. Buyers might have expected more excitement from a car carrying such a revered engine lineage. The interior of the base fire dome reflected its entry-level positioning, but the cost-cutting was obvious. The upholstery and dashboard materials lacked the refinement found in higher trims or rival brands. Many of the features available in other DeSoto models were absent, making the base model feel like a compromise rather than a value. For a brand with aspirations of bridging the gap between Dodge and Chrysler, the Fire Dome base model's interior didn't measure up to expectations. Within Chrysler Corporation, the Fire Dome base model was flanked by Dodge and Chrysler offerings that made a stronger case for buyers. Dodge vehicles were more affordable and offered similar performance, making the Fire Dome base model seem redundant. For buyers willing to spend a bit more, Chrysler's cars provided superior styling, performance, and prestige. Beyond Chrysler Corporation, competitors like Oldsmobile and Buick offered cars with more exciting designs and better-equipped base models. The Fire Dome struggled to compete in this crowded field. DeSoto was known for style and innovation, but the Fire Dome base model diluted that reputation with cost-cutting measures. Even entry-level models need to uphold the brand's identity. The decision to detune the 291 Hemi engine was a misstep. Buyers wanted power and excitement, even in affordable cars, and the Fire Dome didn't deliver. In a market brimming with options, the Fire Dome base model lacked the boldness needed to stand out. A more distinctive design or better features might have given it an edge. The 1955 DeSoto Fire Dome base model is a prime example of how cost-cutting and uninspired design can undermine a brand's appeal. While it was intended to offer an affordable entry into the DeSoto lineup, it ultimately failed to differentiate itself from competitors or even other Chrysler Corporation vehicles. DeSoto would face continued challenges in the years to come, with the Fire Dome base model serving as an early warning sign of the brand's eventual decline. For us, it serves as a reminder that every model, regardless of price, needs to reflect the core values of its brand. Number 4, 1955 Packard Clipper Deluxe, a car that represented Packard's effort to enter the mid-priced market. Unfortunately, this attempt came at a cost to Packard's reputation as a luxury automaker. The Clipper Deluxe, with its uninspired design and lackluster features, failed to capture the magic that made Packard a respected name in the industry. Packard had long been a symbol of American luxury, producing vehicles renowned for their elegance and engineering. However, by the mid-1950s, the company faced mounting financial difficulties and increased competition from Cadillac, Lincoln, and the emerging mid-price brands like Buick and Oldsmobile. The Clipper Deluxe was born out of Packard's need to broaden its market appeal, but in doing so, the company diluted its brand identity. The Clipper Deluxe's styling departed from Packard's tradition of elegant and distinctive designs. The body featured a simple, generic shape that lacked the sophistication and character associated with Packard's higher-tier models. The absence of signature Packard design cues, like the bold grille or flowing lines, made the Clipper Deluxe indistinguishable from lower-tier competitors. The Clipper Deluxe was intended to be an affordable entry point into the Packard lineup, but its uninspired design failed to convey the sense of prestige that buyers expected from the brand. Under the hood, the Clipper Deluxe was powered by Packard's aging straight-eight engine, a choice that highlighted the company's resource limitations. While competitors were offering V8 engines, Packard's straight-eight felt antiquated, both in performance and perception. The engine provided adequate power, but lacked the refinement and excitement that buyers were coming to expect in the mid-price market. By clinging to older technology, the Clipper Deluxe failed to compete with rivals that were embracing more advanced and efficient powertrains. The interior of the Clipper Deluxe reflected its budget-conscious positioning, but at a cost to Packard's reputation. The upholstery and trim lacked the premium feel of Packard's more expensive models. While Packard's higher-tier cars were known for their advanced features, the Clipper Deluxe offered only the basics, leaving buyers underwhelmed. Packard could have positioned the Clipper Deluxe as a more aspirational vehicle, but the lack of refinement made it feel like a compromise rather than a gateway to luxury. The Clipper Deluxe faced stiff competition from brands that were already well established in the mid-price segment. These brands offered stylish, powerful cars with modern V8 engines, making the Clipper Deluxe seem outdated. Positioned similarly, these competitors offered better styling and performance at comparable prices. By introducing a model that didn't live up to Packard's luxury reputation, the Clipper Deluxe inadvertently diminished the brand's overall image. Buyers who might have aspired to own a Packard instead looked elsewhere for their next purchase. For a luxury brand, even entry-level models must maintain a sense of prestige. The Clipper Deluxe failed to balance affordability with the qualities that made Packard desirable. By relying on outdated technology like the straight-8 engine, Packard signaled that it was falling behind its competitors, both in perception and reality. The Clipper Deluxe's stripped-down features and uninspired design created a disconnect between what buyers expected from Packard and what they received. Consistency in design and performance is crucial for maintaining a brand's reputation. The 1955 Packard Clipper Deluxe is a cautionary tale of a brand struggling to adapt to changing market conditions. While it was intended to attract new buyers, it ultimately alienated them by failing to deliver on the Packard promise of luxury and innovation. Packard's decline in the years that followed can be traced, in part, to missteps like the Clipper Deluxe. It serves as a reminder that even in times of financial difficulty, maintaining a brand's core identity and standards is essential for long-term success. Number 3, 1955 Buick Special base model, a car that struggled to make an impression in a competitive market. Buick, known for producing cars that offered a blend of comfort, style, and performance, fell short with the Special. Positioned as the entry-level model, it failed to deliver the refinement, power, and appeal that buyers expected from the Buick name. By the mid-1950s, Buick was a cornerstone of General Motors' lineup, situated just below Cadillac in prestige. The brand catered to upwardly mobile families and professionals who wanted a luxurious yet affordable car. However, with increasing competition from Oldsmobile, Pontiac, and Mercury, Buick needed to offer an entry-level vehicle that could maintain its reputation while attracting cost-conscious buyers. The 1955 Buick Special was intended to fill this role, but it fell short on several fronts. The Buick Special failed to stand out in a market that valued eye-catching designs. While other Buick models featured the iconic sweep spear side trim, the base Special lacked the visual flair needed to grab attention. The front grille design, while functional, lacked the boldness seen in pricier Buick models, making the car appear unremarkable. At a time when style was paramount, the Special's understated appearance made it forgettable in a crowded market. The 1955 Buick Special was among the last models to use Buick's aging straight-8 engine. While competitors were equipping their cars with modern, efficient V8 engines, the Special's straight-8 felt underpowered and outdated. The engine's outdated design hampered acceleration and performance, particularly when compared to the smooth, robust V8s offered by rivals like Oldsmobile and Mercury. Buick buyers, even at the entry level, expected a certain level of performance that the Special simply didn't deliver. In the mid-price segment, other automakers were rapidly adopting V8 technology, leaving the Special lagging behind in both performance and desirability. As an entry-level model, the Special offered fewer amenities than its more expensive siblings. The interior featured plain upholstery and minimal trim, lacking the luxurious feel associated with the Buick name. The Special skimped on convenience features, making it feel less appealing compared to similarly priced cars from other brands. While the Special carried the Buick badge, it didn't deliver the premium experience buyers expected, creating a disconnect between the brand's reputation and the reality of this model. The Special faced stiff competition from other entry-level models that offered more power, style, and features. Both brands offered cars with modern V8 engines and more dynamic styling, making the Special seem outdated. Even lower-priced models from these brands offered comparable, if not superior, performance and design. By cutting corners on the Special, Buick risked alienating buyers who might have been drawn to the brand's higher-end models. Instead, they looked to competitors that offered a more complete package. The automotive industry of the 1950s was defined by rapid technological advancements. Buick's reliance on the outdated straight-8 engine in the Special demonstrated the risks of failing to innovate. An entry-level model must still embody the qualities that define the brand. The Special's lack of refinement and features undermined Buick's image as a maker of premium vehicles. In the style-conscious 1950s, a car's appearance played a significant role in its success. The Special's bland design failed to captivate buyers, making it a less attractive option in a highly competitive market. The 1955 Buick Special serves as a case study in the challenges of producing an entry-level model that aligns with a brand's identity. While it carried the Buick badge, it lacked the power, refinement, and style that buyers expected, leaving it overshadowed by competitors. For Buick, the Special was a misstep in a decade when innovation and bold design were essential. It reminds us that even a budget-conscious offering must maintain the qualities that make a brand stand out. Number 2, 1955 Dodge Kingsway Custom, a car often overlooked in the annals of automotive history. Marketed primarily as an export model, the Kingsway Custom was a stripped-down version of the Dodge Coronet. While it was designed to cater to budget-conscious buyers, especially in markets like Canada, it ultimately fell short in delivering value, style, and performance. In the mid-20th century, automakers often produced export-oriented models tailored to specific markets. The Dodge Kingsway series was one such example, designed to meet the needs of buyers outside the U.S., particularly in Canada. The Kingsway Custom borrowed heavily from Dodge's Coronet, but with fewer features and simplified styling to reduce costs. The car was targeted at customers who wanted a Dodge badge without the price tag of higher-end models. While this strategy made sense on paper, the execution left much to be desired. The 1955 Dodge Coronet was a handsome car for its time, featuring Dodge's bold, forward-look design language. The Kingsway Custom, however, stripped away many of these elements. While the Coronet featured generous chrome accents, the Kingsway Custom's trim was bare bones, making it look plain and utilitarian. Key design features, such as ornate grilles and intricate side moldings, were absent or significantly pared down. Without the distinctive styling elements of its parent model, the Kingsway Custom failed to stand out in a market increasingly driven by aesthetics. Its boxy shape and lack of flair made it indistinguishable from other budget cars of the era. In a time when automotive design was becoming an art form, the Kingsway Custom felt like a relic from an earlier, less ambitious period. Under the hood, the Kingsway Custom was powered by Dodge's aging flathead six-cylinder engine. With modest horsepower, the engine struggled to deliver adequate acceleration, especially when compared to the more modern V8 engines offered by competitors. The flathead design was efficient but outdated by 1955, resulting in lackluster performance that frustrated buyers. By 1955, most automakers were transitioning to more advanced overhead valve engines. Dodge's reliance on the Flathead 6 for the Kingsway Custom placed it behind the curve. The Kingsway Custom's cabin was a study in austerity. Upholstery and trim were of the lowest grade, making the interior feel cheap and unrefined. Features that were becoming standard in mid-priced cars, like upgraded radios, power steering, or even decorative dashboards, were absent in the Kingsway Custom. As part of the Dodge lineup, the Kingsway Custom should have reflected the brand's commitment to quality and style. Instead, it felt like a compromise, damaging Dodge's reputation among budget buyers. The Kingsway Custom faced stiff competition from other export models and domestic options in Canada and elsewhere. Both brands offered affordable cars with more modern engines, better styling, and superior features. Even Dodge's sibling brand under the Chrysler umbrella offered more appealing alternatives. While budget buyers were willing to accept some compromises, the Kingsway Custom's lack of style and performance left it overshadowed by competitors that offered more for the money. The Kingsway Custom demonstrates the pitfalls of sacrificing too much in the name of affordability. While cost-cutting is necessary for budget models, it must be balanced with the need to maintain a brand's identity and appeal. By relying on an outdated flathead six-cylinder engine, Dodge missed an opportunity to modernize the Kingsway Custom and keep pace with competitors. Even in budget segments, styling plays a significant role in attracting buyers. The Kingsway Custom's plain design failed to captivate the attention of an increasingly style-conscious market. The 1955 Dodge Kingsway Custom was a well-intentioned attempt to offer an affordable Dodge for export markets. However, its lack of style, outdated engine, and Spartan features made it an underwhelming choice, even for budget-conscious buyers. While it may have found some success among buyers who prioritize price above all else, the Kingsway Custom serves as a reminder that even entry-level models must uphold a brand's reputation. Number 1, 1955 Hudson WASP Super, a mid-level sedan that struggled to stand out in an automotive market dominated by the Big Three. The WASP Super was a product of the tumultuous final years of the Hudson Motor Car Company, as the independent automaker faced increasing pressure from larger competitors. Unfortunately, the car's uninspired design, aging body style, and average performance failed to capture buyers' attention, sealing its fate as a footnote in automotive history. The WASP nameplate was introduced by Hudson in the early 1950s as a step below the company's flagship Hornet. By 1955, Hudson had merged with Nash Kelvinator to form American Motors Corporation, a move intended to keep the struggling brand alive. However, this merger marked the beginning of the end for Hudson's independent identity, and the 1955 WASP Super became emblematic of the brand's declining fortunes. The WASP Super was positioned as a mid-tier option, offering more features than the base WASP, but falling short of the luxurious Hudson Hornet. By 1955, Hudson models were essentially badge-engineered versions of Nash vehicles, built on the Nash body platform. This move diluted Hudson's once distinctive styling and engineering. One of the WASP Super's most significant flaws was its outdated design. The WASP Super's body style was heavily influenced by the pre-merger Hudson models, which were becoming increasingly dated by the mid-1950s. The car's upright stance and rounded contours contrasted sharply with the sleek, futuristic lines emerging from the Big Three automakers, making the WASP appear old-fashioned. In 1955, automotive styling was all about chrome, fins, and flair. The WASP Super, however, was conservative to a fault. While competitors like Chevrolet and Ford embraced bold chrome accents, the WASP Super's restrained use of brightwork made it look plain. The front fascia lacked the drama and character seen in rivals, further emphasizing the car's utilitarian nature. The WASP Super was powered by a 202 cubic inch inline-six engine, which offered respectable performance but nothing exceptional. With around 130 horsepower, the engine was adequate for everyday driving, but underwhelming compared to the V8s offered by Chevrolet, Ford, and Chrysler. By 1955, the absence of a V8 engine was a glaring omission, as V8s were rapidly becoming the standard for performance and prestige. Hudson had a reputation for innovative engineering in the 1940s, but by the mid-1950s, the WASP Super's chassis and suspension were merely average. The car provided a comfortable ride, but it lacked the sporty handling that had once set Hudson apart. Competitors offered more powerful engines and better handling, making the WASP feel outdated in comparison. The WASP Super's interior was functional but unremarkable. While the car offered more amenities than the base model, its upholstery and trim were modest compared to higher-tier models or competitors' offerings. The dashboard layout lacked the modern, eye-catching appeal of contemporary rivals, further diminishing the car's desirability. While the WASP Super aimed to offer a balance of features and affordability, it struggled to compete with similarly priced models from larger automakers. By 1955, the automotive market was dominated by Ford, General Motors, and Chrysler, whose economies of scale allowed them to produce more compelling vehicles at lower prices. Both brands offered cars with modern V8 engines, stylish designs, and superior marketing. Even Chrysler's entry-level brand outshone the WASP Super in terms of performance and aesthetics. Hudson had been a leader in the 1940s, but its inability to keep up with changing trends left it struggling to maintain relevance. The merger with Nash diluted Hudson's distinctive character, alienating loyal customers. Perception of obsolescence. The WASP Super's outdated design reinforced the perception that Hudson was falling behind the times. The WASP Super highlights the dangers of relying on legacy designs in a rapidly evolving market. Without continuous innovation, even well-established brands can lose their competitive edge.